Welcome, everyone, to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man, a twice-a-week sports podcast where we talk everything sports. We talk NFL, college football, NBA, NHL, MLB, European football, anything and everything sports. I'm your host, TJ, and with me here, as always, is the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame in his game because he's always the same.
That's me.
How are you doing this fine Thursday evening, Grumpy Old Man?
Okay, how about you?
Hey, alive and kicking, Grumpy Old Man. Today we got a lot on the docket to talk about. As always, Grumpy Old Man. I'll also say this for those of you who are new to the channel. As I mentioned, it is a twice a week all sports podcast. The show takes place every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That being said, Grump, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do a show this Sunday with you.
Why? What's your issue now?
What's my issue now, Grumpy? We might have guests in town, Grumpy. So I'm not sure. We got to entertain them, Grump. And I get a little loud and they go to bed early, these individuals. So
what time do they go to bed? Can I ask?
7 p.m.
7 p.m.? Who the hell goes to sleep at 7 p.m.?
The warden does. People like the warden go to bed early like that. But Grumpy, so we may not be going live this Sunday, just giving you the heads up. But usually we're live every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This Sunday, again, as I mentioned, we will not be going live. Sorry, bad news, I know. So we're going to have to give and jam a lot of information into one show. But Grump.
Well, you can only jam. Hold on. You make it sound like we already know what's going to happen in the future, so we can jam it in what's going to happen in the next number of days, like college football, NFL. We're going to jam that into today's podcast when it's impossible because it hasn't even happened yet.
Well, what are you talking about, Grumpy? We already know the outcome to Ohio State against Penn State. Grump, we're from the future, don't you remember? Ohio State, Grumpy, got a huge game. There's a lot of big games for college football this weekend, as there always seems to be. And, the NFL. Already Thursday night. This may be the best Thursday night game we've seen so far this year between Baltimore and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I don't know. Both those teams suck.
They're both a little bit above middle of the road.
One team's 4-3, the other one's 3-4. That's about as middle of the road as you can get. If they're, let's say Tampa wins,
it's better than the Chicago Bears facing off against whoever the hell they played last. Who did the Bears play last week? It was hard to watch.
It was Denver, wasn't it? Denver?
Yes, maybe it was Denver. It's better than the Bears against Denver. Think about the matchups we've seen so far this year. It's not been entertaining football. This game at least has the makeup and the components to be an entertaining game.
Okay, I agree with you there. Mike Evans did one of his Mike Evans special, dropped a wide open, right in his hands, right through his hands. 30-yard completion, right through his hands.
Dropped the what? You kind of cut in and out.
Pass, right through his hands.
Right through his hands.
Right in his hands. Just right through his hands. Like, dude, you got to catch that ball.
Oh.
But you know what I love when wide receivers go like this? Oh, that's on me. That's on me. So, okay, let's give some of your paycheck back. Maybe it'll motivate you. Maybe you get paid on how many balls you don't drop.
Ah, there it is, on efficiency.
No, you can't say that because if they don't get targeted a whole lot, they shouldn't be penalized for that. But if you drop a ball, that's $100,000.
I'll tell you this. I know that Tampa's defense has played well. Lamar Jackson hasn't looked great tonight.
Well, they're going away from what they've done on offense all year, which is the run game. And they're just, I think on their first 18 plays, they passed it 15 times. That's not the, and Mark Andrews, seems like he's dinged up, went back to the locker room. That's not the strength of their offense. It's running the ball.
Well, they just went for it recently on fourth down and were stopped. You see, like Lamar Jackson just looks fervently, no, let me take this. I'm about to score the touchdown. And they're down, right? They were down 10-3 at the time period. And, easy layup of a kick for Justin Tucker. But besides that drive, they really hadn't done too much today.
Their 3 points were a result of another botched punt return. Just can't catch the ball out in Tampa Bay. Poor lack of discipline, lack of execution, just dumb. They just got some
Well,
dumb players.
okay, cool. I'm talking about Lamar Jackson, not talking about Tampa, Grumpy. I was talking about fervently saying, "Give me the ball." He's a great scrambler, and the reason I'm talking about him. He's got that huge contract extension coming up, Grumpy.
He'll get it.
What's going to happen?
Getting it. He's a free agent at the end of the year.
I understand. It just makes me think to myself, who's going to be dumb enough? I think he's a great athlete. I do not think he's that good of a quarterback.
New York Giants.
Oh, yikes. Yikes.
You don't think he's better than Daniel Jones?
He's not the answer.
I think he's not the answer. For that coach and that team, I absolutely think he's the answer. In the Northeast, in the middle of the winter, oh my God, you could run the ball. You're going to win an awful lot of games.
Okay. I just don't think when we look at top tier quarterbacks, he's not a guy I feel very confident saying, hey, we're down by 14. Let's say we're down by 17 points in the third quarter. We need you to bring us back. Do you feel confident Lamar Jackson's that guy?
Okay.
I don't. I feel confident that when he's in a situation, Grumpy, to where, let's say, they're up, he can continue to control game clock. He can continue to control the situation. But I feel like when down, it's really tough to just say, hey, we're gonna be electrifying and we're gonna go ahead and come back from a 17-point deficit in the third quarter.
Let me ask you a question. Would you say he's one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league?
Maybe around 8, 9, or 10. Sure.
So he's one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league.
It's debatable, but yeah, I'd give it to him.
Okay, if you said 8 or 9, that's top 10. That's your number, 8 or 9. So he's top 10. That's not debatable. That's inside of the top 10. He's top 10. Where are the Giants getting a top 10 quarterback in this league?
I said debatable, Grump, because
you said he's 8 or 9. You said 8 or 9. I hate to tell you, 10 comes after 8 or 9. That makes him
9 or 10.
Inside the top 10.
Did I not say 9 or 10? Or
no, you said 8 or 9. 8 or 9, you said. 8 or 9.
I'm recanting my statement. I'm putting him at 11 or 12. He's outside the top 10.
Name the guys better than him. Name them.
Oh, buddy.
Name 10 quarterbacks better than Lamar Jackson. Name them.
Give me a sec. Let me pull up the stat book there, Grumpy. Okay, here it is, right? I'm giving Mahomes is a better QB.
True.
I'm giving for certain Joe Burrow is a better QB.
Okay.
For certain Josh Allen is a better quarterback. I still would take Tom Brady over. I still would take Tom Brady over him too.
There's 4.
I take Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Even at this stage in his career.
5.
I take Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than what we've seen out of.
Okay. 6.
You're not even. I fight me on any of these.
I need you to get to 10.
I know Herbert. You may not agree with me, but
7.
I like Herbert.
Okay. Herbert 7. Okay.
Mm.
They're running out of options now.
I don't like Kyler Murray. I'm not a big Kyler Murray fan.
You never put him in your top 10.
I know some would put Kyler Murray in the top 10.
Okay, but you don't.
Not.
You don't. Okay, so that doesn't count. Still 7.
Are we officially ruling Russell Wilson as dead?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
My God. You know what every time we do this, I realize there's a lot more shitty quarterbacks than there are good quarterbacks in the league.
So there's 7. So in other words, you can't even get to 10. That's fine. He's a top 10 quarterback in the league. He absolutely is.
Okay, think about this. Lamar Jackson only has 1,300 passing yards this year.
Yeah, but how many total yards does
he have? He's not a QB. He's an athlete. He's an athlete who can throw the ball well. He's a really good athlete who throws the ball well.
He's top 10 quarterback in the league. You just
admitted top 10 athlete.
You couldn't come up with 8. You couldn't even come up with 8, let alone 10. You could not come up with it.
Here's the thing. I like what I've seen out of guys like Trevor Lawrence this year, and I've seen out of guys, some of these young players this year. But I like Derek Carr. Maybe I'd put him in the top 10 category. But I don't know.
You'd rather have Derek Carr than Lamar Jackson. Is this what you're trying to say?
Lamar Jackson has thrown for.
I just asked you a question.
1,300 passing yards this year.
Yeah.
He's bottom of the NFL. Russell Wilson, who missed last week, has thrown for more passing yards this year than Lamar Jackson. Ass shoulder finished Russell Wilson has thrown for more passing yards than Lamar Jackson. That's my point. I'm just saying there are not a lot of talented quarterbacks in the league. And there's no way in hell I'm throwing the Jared Goffs or the Matt Stafford. I just can't I cannot justify throwing those guys in that list.
So when you're putting together a football team, you would rather pick Russell Wilson, current day, over Lamar Jackson?
Oh,
I tell you, you're a fool. You're lying. You're being disingenuous.
I'm okay. I just told you I didn't put Russell Wilson in the top.
Why are you bringing up Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson has had such a shitty year, and he still has thrown for more
He's
yards
top
than
10.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar
That's my
Jackson's
point.
top
That's
10.
my point.
Lamar Jackson's top 10. Where's Daniel Jones on your list?
Fuck. Oh,
is he close?
My God, he's awful.
Okay, so you'll admit that Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback by a lot from Daniel Jones. And I'm going to tell you what else. With the offense that Brian Daboll runs, what they did up in Buffalo, what you're seeing with the New York Football Giants is exactly what they'd run better with Lamar Jackson. That's the type of offense they run. They get him out there and he does his thing.
You know, I forgot to put in the
I think
list.
he'd be a really good fit for the Giants. He makes them, in my opinion, automatic playoff team for the foreseeable future.
I'm sorry. I forgot to name somebody, Grumpy, and I apologize. I omitted him from the list, but he immediately should have came to the front of the mind. Tua Tagovailoa. I put him as a top 10 QB in the NFL.
You know you're lying now.
Okay. Okay, this is my point where when I say the caveat, excellent athlete, okay to good quarterback. He's only had 4 games in his entire NFL career where he's thrown for more than 300 passing yards.
Okay, how many games has he
had?
He
had the 1 year. He had the one really solid year in 2019. All pro, fantastic. And that's what happens when a lot of times there's a quarterback who's just like one of those, he's like a unicorn. You don't know how to stop him, and he just catches fire. And you're like, how the hell could we ever slow this guy down? And then you figure out ways to slow him down. And is Lamar Jackson playing with the best weapons? Absolutely not. I'm not doubting that, but I'm just like the inconsistencies with the throws. I'm sorry.
I never said he was the greatest quarterback. All I said was he's a top 10 quarterback in the league because I said I could see him with the Giants and they take off with him. That I could absolutely see when I said he's a free agent at the end of the year. That was all my point. I didn't say he was Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert. No, I didn't say that. But what I said was, you put him on that Giants team, they're a perennial playoff team with Brian Daboll as coach.
I put him again. I put him as a fringe 9 or 10.
You couldn't even come up with 8 guys better than him.
I think there's a lot of shitty quarterbacks in the NFL. Great, congratulations. I've came to the conclusion, as I say all the time, there's a lot of really bad QBs in the NFL.
You put him at 8 or 9 is what you said. 8 or 9. I said, is he top 10? You said he's 8 or 9. Okay. Maybe he's in the top. You didn't say that. You said 8 or 9. And I'm like, well, that's below 10. Do I need to read the transcript back? Do we need to play a Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson moment from A Few Good Men? Do we need to play that?
We do need to go ahead. We do need to go ahead and get the person in the court who's been typing up all of everything up, but we do need to go ahead and figure
8 or 9. You said 8 or 9.
Okay.
So you could not come up with more than 7. I didn't even challenge you on anyone. I just let you run with it.
I am very honest with who I am providing, though.
Okay. So then he's number 8 on your list. Number 8.
I don't know. Okay, I think it's arguable. Like Kirk Cousins, I don't think he's a good QB. But this is the question. I think Kirk Cousins benefits a lot from having guys like Stephon Diggs, having Adam Thielen on the team, and maybe
Justin Jefferson.
Yes, Justin Jefferson. I'm sorry, Stephon Diggs is gone. Justin Jefferson, I apologize. Man, I'm taking it back many, many years ago. But yeah, Justin Jefferson, he benefits from that. He benefits from Thielen. He benefits from a fantastic running back in Dalvin Cook. And, you're in a situation where you think to yourself, if Lamar Jackson had those weapons, maybe he's a lot more electric than what he is because he's kind of bereft of offensive talent. I'm playing, right? I'm trying to play it even. I think that if he had Lamar Jackson's bereft of talent around him,
he's got a tight end.
Besides Mark Andrews, I think like Rashad Bateman, I wouldn't say he's anything to write home about. Dunleavy's nothing to write home about. I think the offensive line is good, and I think the running game and his surrounding running backs, have some talent to it. But in the same token,
they're a running team. They're a running team. So you're complaining about, passing yards. That's not their offense. Their offense is run the ball. That's the Baltimore Ravens offense. So you could say, well, gosh, he's only thrown for this many yards. Yeah, but their offense is running the ball. Run. That's what they do. They're a good run-oriented team. That is their offense. So to say, well, he doesn't have this many yards. Well, yeah, but how many rushing yards does he have?
Quarterback's job.
What?
What's the quarterback's job?
To do whatever, to make the offense go. That's the quarterback's job. And here's the thing. It's not his fault that they're a run-oriented team. And yes,
it is. It's because he can't fucking throw. If he was freaking Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady, they would be throwing the ball freaking 40 times a game because they can actually throw the football.
But here's the thing: the OC makes that determination.
The OC makes a determination based off of the player's talent. Freaking Lamar Jackson's not going to be successful if you're throwing him freaking 50 times a game. He just won't be successful like that. He's a guy who has to be able to scramble. He has to use his feet in order to be successable in the NFL. I'm saying that's the talent he has, and I'm saying that's why he's one of the best athletes to play the game. But regarding quarterback play, I don't know.
He's top 10. He's top 10. He's a top 10 quarterback in this league. Period. That's what he is. Top 10. You couldn't even come up with 8 who you considered better. You got up to 7. Then you started grasping. Then you started bringing in Kyler Murray, who you're on the record for saying he's not top 10. He's like 11 or 12. All of a sudden now you're like, oh, well, some people will say Kyler Murray.
See, some people might say Kyler Murray. Some might not.
Yeah. You don't. So you could not come up with 10. You said 8 or 9. You said 8 or 9.
I think excellent athlete, bad quarterback, or okay quarterback.
He's top 10 in the league. He's top 10 in the league.
He's a fantastic athlete, sure.
And he's top 10 quarterback in the league. Just say it. It's
okay.
All
I'm going to tell you is this. If you're down by 17 points early in the third quarter, are you putting him as a top 10 candidate? You're going to say a guy who can really run the ball is going to help us come back from a 17-point deficit? No, you're going to say, I need a guy who can actually throw the football to get a 17-point to help us recover the 17-point deficit. I can't have a guy who's got to run and dink and duck 4 or 5 yards down the field and is going to take an 8-minute drive to score a touchdown. No, that doesn't work when you're down. It only works when you're winning, which is why the freaking Baltimore Ravens lose more games than not as of recent, because you cannot just rely upon run. Here's a 7-minute drive. And if we don't cash out with a 7-point result, we don't win games.
Isn't that an issue with their offensive system that they run and their coordinator?
The system they run is best designed for Lamar Jackson's success.
They have no weapons. It's not like they're loaded with weapons on the outside to throw to.
I've seen quarterbacks do as much or more. I've seen quarterbacks do more with weapons comparable to the weapons he's got. Mark Andrews is a top 5 tight end in the NFL, wouldn't you say?
That's it. That is their weapon. That's him. They don't have another weapon on offense in the wide receiver group. They don't.
I think Bateman shows flashes, but
no, he doesn't. He flashes bad. He's caught a couple long touchdowns.
He's been injured. Okay, you're got a shitty quarterback throwing in the ball.
He's not been good.
On that fourth down, wide receiver is open. Quarterback throws behind him.
He's not good.
If Lamar Jackson hits him in stride, it's a touchdown.
Rashawn Bateman has not been good this year.
Okay.
He's not good.
Sure.
DeMarcus Robinson is the guy he's throwing to. That's his number 1 wide receiver. DeMarcus freaking Robinson.
The old guy from the Chiefs.
These are all scrubbies.
Scrubbies.
The scrubbinis.
The scrubbies.
Okay? They're not top-level talent at the wide receiver position. He doesn't have it. That's an issue with their front office staff. They don't get him any weapons. They run the kind of offense they run. That's what they do. I think it's disingenuous to say, well, he's only thrown for 1,300 yards. Well, that's the way their offense is geared.
Why do you think Andy Reid and the Chiefs play offense? And hold on. Before you answer, I'm going to tell you it. The reason they do that is because they say, we've got one of the best gunslinging quarterbacks in the history of the game in Patrick Mahomes. And what we're going to do is we're going to surround our best talent with as much pieces around him to make the team successful. So are we going to lack a little bit on the defensive side of the ball? Sure. We're not going to be as good defensively as we are on the offensive side of the ball. We're just going to rely upon Patrick Mahomes to do the work. And he does, because he's that freaking good.
I'm still kind of baffled by your refusal to name him top 10, where earlier in the year you definitely did when you're trying to run down Kyler Murray. Now, you mentioned 17 points. Who would you take? I'd take Kyler Murray in that instance. So would you say
Kyler Murray in that situation? I take Kyler Murray above Lamar Jackson.
So Kyler Murray's top 10 then. So Kyler Murray's top 10?
In certain situations, he's definitely
Kyler Murray's top 10.
Oh, my God.
Let's just admit it. You can say he's top 10 and Lamar Jackson are both top 10.
I think this, Grumpy, I'm going to go on the record of this and we'll move on topics because I'm sure this is getting pedantic. And we're getting I think that the top 7 or 8 maybe the top 7 quarterbacks in the league are head over heels above everybody else. And then from about, I'd say maybe 8 or 9 until about 17 or 18, they're interchangeable for the most part. The disparity between those quarterbacks is a lot closer than the top tier talent.
I disagree. Okay. Like you put Jalen Hurts in there. What makes Jalen Hurts so good? Maybe because they got A.J. Brown to throw the ball to this year. Last year, he was just a runner. And he was really good at it because he's a runner. But now they get A.J. Brown. They team him with who's the other guy they got on the other side? Devontae Smith, right? So now all of a sudden that team is so much more dynamic because he can still run and still does. But now he has a couple legitimate weapons on the outside. That's what's making him so good. If you give Lamar Jackson a couple of weapons on the outside, watch out, sky's the limit. I'm not saying the Giants have those weapons, particularly after moving Kadarius Toney today.
We'll talk about that in a second. But let me ask you, but really quick, I want to change topics. With the way Jalen Hurts has played this year, is he the best?
No.
Is he the best quarterback from Oklahoma that we've seen as of recent years? I think maybe. Would you put Jalen Hurts above Kyler Murray? I might. I'm leaning that way more and more. And I didn't think. Here's the thing: I had been very critical of Jalen Hurts because I didn't think much of him, and I think that he was a guy that, again, when big moments are there, I'm not too reliant upon him having to carry the load. It's hard to argue with the record and success right now. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Did you notice how much better Kyler Murray was last week? Did you notice?
What were his stats?
Look him up. He was better last week. He certainly passed the eyeball test last week and the smell test. He certainly did. You want to know why?
He threw for 204 yards. Yeah, okay. That's really freaking passing the eyeball. Okay. 204 yards and a touchdown. Freaking mediocre. That's my thing, though. He's a borderline top 10 quarterback. 204 yards, 222 yards, 250 yards. The son of a bitch is throwing for like 250 yards a game. This is a pass-happy league where you could be a freaking an above-average quarterback and you're throwing for like 300 yards a game.
Okay, I'm not denying that, but what I'm saying is he's got Hopkins.
Hopkins. Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins.
That automatically makes him better. Weapons make the quarterback. You can have a great quarterback, but if he has no weapons to throw to, he's going to underwhelm.
Think about this. Kyler Murray has played 7 games this year, and he's thrown for 300 or more yards once all season long.
Who's he been throwing the ball to all year?
He had Marquise Brown.
Henderson? He had nothing. He's an average wide receiver. Losing Hopkins was devastating for them.
Hopkins back 204 yards.
Yeah. Well, all of a sudden they got that chemistry back, and then Brown goes out with a broken leg the week before, so they still have one weapon on that team.
They've got a top 5 wide receiver in the game, so you're not going to see me crying about his fantastic weapon. But okay. We've been derailed. We spent quite some time on this. Joseph C says, I think the MLB is slowly turning into the NHL playoffs with the more expanded postseason. Like a bottom seed gets hot, and can make a run all the way to the World Series.
True. I don't like it. To me, I liked it better when you had one team, 2 divisions in each league. First two teams, you win one division, you win the other division, they play off World Series. The fact that the World Series is going to be going on to the middle of November is just ridiculous. Baseball is a summer sport.
I do want to show you this, Grumpy. Drew L says, TJ, I sent you 2 things, but mainly I wanted you to show how great Ben Simmons has been off to this year. He is so underrated. Well, you remember Ben Simmons he caught a little bit of flack, Grumpy, because he sat out all of last year due to his back injury, and he just wanted to collect that paycheck and didn't want to play. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And the year before in the postseason, he didn't want to play either because of that injury. Well,
yeah, he's always had issues. He can't shoot. His biggest injury is that he can't shoot the ball.
Well, here he is, Grumpy. He has been working, right? He had been probably practicing for the last two seasons, maybe, because he missed all last year, but he was taking a lot of practice. He has practiced his jumper, his pull-up shot, his layups, his slam dunk. The guy has been practicing how to put the ball in the net I'd say for the last 2 years. And it's really showed so far in this early season, Grumpy. I mean, we're only about a few games into the NBA year, but he's played well.
Good for him. I can do that.
He airballed a fucking layup.
I don't even know how you can airball one from there.
It's airballing it from the freaking under the arc. I'm like, what the hell? How the hell do you do that? Oh my God.
He thought it was close to the free throw line.
Jesus Christ.
He can't shoot the ball.
I guess he was expecting contact, but I'm like,
he's a solid Here's the thing. He's a solid defensive player. He's a good playmaker, but they can just slough off him because he can't hit a shot. That was Magic Johnson was like that coming out of college. They would slough off of him because he could not hit an outside shot. What did Magic Johnson do?
He worked on shooting.
That's right. And he was a passable shooter by the end of his career. He wasn't, a deadly marksman, but he shot well enough from the outside to keep other teams honest. That means they couldn't back off of him. This kid refuses to do that because he just thinks he's, whatever, the greatest thing ever. He's not. And he's a loser. He's a loser.
Grumpy, let us know how you really feel about him.
Why don't you work on your game, kid? Is it because you get all that guaranteed money in that contract? Is that why?
Could be, Grumpy. Could be.
That's what happens when you got kids who are, 18, 19 years old. And I don't begrudge them making money, but the whole thing is you should want to become a better player. If you're a winner and if you're a guy who's going to lead the team to a championship, you should want to improve your game where
you've got to lead from the front in all aspects, in your play, leadership, etc. Joseph C says it really makes the 162 game season pointless. Talk about the MLB.
I mean, 7 teams make the playoffs. 7. That's ridiculous. Right? Was it 7 from each league or 6? What was it? I can't even remember.
I think it's 7.
Or maybe it's 6.
They've got the playing game.
2 teams.
6? Oh, the playing game. That's right. And then you go to the wild card. That's right.
I don't think there's a playing game anymore. They got rid of that because they realized they could make more money by putting a couple of 3-game series.
A playing series. There we go.
They can make more money. That's what for 2 teams get a bye, and then the other 4 in each league play off against one another for best of 3. Then the next series is best of 5, and then best of 7. The last 2.
Drew L says the Shanghai Sharks are going to be making calls for Ben Simmons soon with his continued play.
I don't understand why the kid won't work on his game.
What
else does he have to do?
Good question. What's up, Amari Productions? How are you? D-Cut says millennials can't multitask. Oh, very true, D-Cut. And then Drew L says, I think I already just won in my money league. Mark Andrews is questionable to return with a shoulder injury. He's banged up, the knee injury beforehand and the shoulder injury today. Yikes. He's taking a lot of rough, hard miles.
That's what
wonder how he's going to hold up.
When you're the only target for a team like Gronk was. Gronk wasn't the only target, but how do you take out a Mark Andrews, a big target like that? You chop him at the knees. Always. You drive him into the turf. He's the only weapon Baltimore has. That's it. They don't have anyone else.
Rashad Bateman, Grumpy.
0 catches today.
Rashad. Oh, hey, Grumpy, the game's young yet. Lamar Jackson's going to lead him back. They're down by 7. He's about to lead him back, Grumpy, and prove me wrong.
He's good.
Brady is washed. He needs to retire, says Drew.
I disagree.
Grumpy, what do you disagree?
Look at his passes. They're still right on the money. Right on the money.
I thought you were about to talk about the champion of the people, as you call him.
He is the champion of the people. Everyone knows.
There it is. Gungun says, will the Jets finally overcome the curse of Billy B on Sunday or merely bend over and grab their ankles?
That's interesting. I would have said before the Monday night game that they would have lost to the Jets like they always do. There's problems up in New England. Belichick is really...
They're playing Buffalo. Buffalo Bills.
No, they're not. They're playing the New England Patriots this week. New York Jets are playing the New England Patriots this week.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm wrong.
Monday night, Bill Belichick bungled himself into a quarterback controversy, if you can believe that, by yanking out Mac Jones after 3 series and throwing an interception and putting in Bailey Zappi.
Bailey Zappi. He's okay. Bailey Zappi's a top 10 quarterback in the league. Thanks for reminding me.
So Bailey Zappi leads him on 2 quick touchdown drives, and then he winds up fumbling once and throwing 2 interceptions in the second half, and Mac Jones never to be seen again. Now he's going back to Mac Jones. You listen to the players on the New England Patriots staff saying, as a man, that was tough to watch, how this kid worked so hard and he just got emasculated on TV like that. Those are the words that they're using.
Yikes.
For what he did to Mac Jones. Belichick walked himself into a quarterback controversy. How does a team respond to that? I don't know. How does Mac Jones respond to that? I don't know. Rumblings are Mac Jones doesn't believe in Joe Judge and Matt Patricia. So they don't want him as quarterback. They like Bailey Zappi because he follows what they tell him to the letter.
Oh, wow. Could you believe that maybe a quarterback wouldn't be happy with a co-offensive coordinator system? There could possibly be, I'm sorry, they're not even offensive coordinators. They're just co-coaches because they don't like to put the offensive coordinator title.
You got to pay him for that.
Let me ask you this. Now, is this the beginning of the end for Bill Belichick?
I still think
obviously he's floundered since Brady's left. And we've seen lack of production. At least last year, they're able to string together a few wins and punch above their weight at times because
they were 9-8 last year. They were 9-8.
They made the postseason. Do you think they're making the postseason this year? Hell no.
They got to beat the Jets. They got to beat the Jets this week.
Wow, Goon. This is Billy B's season right here. I don't know. This is the season. This game. So Goon. Maybe Bill Belichick.
Here's the thing, though.
Bill Belichick continues.
Here's the thing. Breece Hall being out for the year really hurts the Jets. That kid was just starting to come into his own. He's out for the year. Oh. They did trade for James Robinson from Jacksonville to team with Michael Carter. I don't know. I haven't seen enough in Zach Wilson yet to think that he can beat a Bill Belichick defense. I don't know if they could run the ball with just Carter and Robinson on a short week to learn some of the offensive plays. I think it's going to be tough.
Drew L says, I hope the Giants do not get Lamar. I'd rather keep Jones for cheaper. And he also says, I also think the Giants need to improve the receiving core. Jerry Jeudy has been the hot talk for the Giants to trade for. Honestly, why not? His value is at an all-time low. Well, here's the thing. He could be just valueless. The reason his value is at an all-time low is because maybe you'll get him to the team and he's like, oh, wait a second. He has no value.
True.
I will say this. Yeah, the Giants traded away Kadarius Toney today, Grumpy. And
he didn't fit. Coaching staff didn't like him. Out he goes. I'll tell you one thing about this management staff of the Giants. If you don't fit what we do or you don't want to be here, you're disappearing. Good for them.
We did happen to find a video of Kadarius Toney entering the Kansas City Chiefs facility today. So we'll let you watch that, Grumpy.
Okay. Looks like one of his Giant days there.
Look at this, man. He's injured. Uh-oh. Oh, man, he dropped his cane. Oh, no. Oh, he's magically healthy and ready to go, Grumpy. Wouldn't that be something?
As everyone knows, that's the great Gene Wilder, late great Gene Wilder, phenomenal comedic actor. He was great.
Yes, Grumpy. Did you think people were going to confuse him with Kadarius Toney?
Well, Kadarius Toney's black. He's white. I'm going to say probably not.
I was about to say Kadarius Toney, athlete, that guy, elderly white actor. Yeah.
Dead white actor.
Dead white actor, correct. It's pretty tough to confuse him, but maybe some did. Goon says, hey, Grumpy, Supertramp or Styx?
Styx. I don't know. The Logical song was so hugely popular. I didn't really like that song. There are other songs that he had that were better, but it just turned me off against the whole band. Styx. I'll go with Styx.
Amari Productions, that is correct. Thank you. Yeah, Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Herbert, Brady, Rodgers, maybe Dak Prescott. I maybe put Dak Prescott over Lamar Jackson.
Really? You couldn't even think of his name before. He's been terrible this year too.
That's what. Okay. I'm trying to be honest because I haven't liked what I've seen. Dak was injured. but the games he was not injured in, I was like, yeah, he got injured the first game of the year, right?
Yes.
You hurt his hand? Okay.
Yes.
And then this first game back, he didn't look stellar. But as a whole, I liked what I've seen out of Dak Prescott in years past. Deshaun Watson. I don't know. It's tough for me to put Deshaun in the list of top 10 just because he hasn't played in like 2 years. So if he was playing, I think Deshaun Watson absolutely is a top 10 quarterback, no doubt about it. But hasn't played in 2 years, and maybe he'll pull a Russell Wilson-itis where he'll come out of this with all this guaranteed money, and he's like, "Ooh, he's completely finished."
We'll see.
I don't know. Hasn't played in 2 years. Derek Carr also could see that argument. Meatball Barn. Look at that. Look at that freaking Meatball Barn, Grumpy. Look at that.
I see it.
Oof. Drew
Anytime
L.
you put anything that looks like food up there, TJ just can't resist.
Dude, you want to know what? You want to know somewhere we never ate as a kid, Grump? But I was like, I've started enjoying it now. Do you remember Jason's Deli?
Yes.
It's good, man. I get their meatball parm. Oh, Jason Deli meatball parm.
You have nowhere to eat where you live. That's all it tells me. You have nowhere to eat where you live.
Schlotsky's Deli's there too. Got a lot of that good stuff. Drew L says, I gotta tell you, the quarterbacks have been so bad in fantasy this year. I'm taking freaking flyers on Sam Ellinger. Wish me luck. Good luck, Drew.
Good
It
luck.
probably will not go well for you. And the thing with Daniel Jones is he's a better passer, in my opinion. I like guys who can at least look like they can somewhat throw the football. Listen, I don't like him either, but Lamar is one knee snap away. I don't know that one snap of the knee away. Yikes.
Yeah. Like
from
a
his
Boobie Miles
career
injury.
over. I do not trust rushing quarterbacks. Plus, the Giants already have Saquon Barkley. There's no need to get a rusher like Lamar Jackson. And Lamar hasn't been the same since that 2019 season. It's a factual statement. Sorry, Grumpy. I'm with TJ on this one. Yeah. How do you like that one, Grump?
Does Lamar Jackson make your team better?
I think he does.
All he cost you is money. All he costs you is money. No draft picks, nothing else.
Then you're committed to him long term.
So 5 years? 6 years?
He's going to want a freaking huge deal.
All depends on how you structure the money.
Gungun says, I guess Grumpy's BBB line idea for the Islanders has drifted away like a fart in the breeze.
Yes, the New York Islanders put Kiefer Bellows on waivers, and he got picked up by the Philadelphia Flyers. I don't understand. I still don't understand that move at all. Not at all. Why not waive some of the guys who make some money? Unless you just need that $1.125 million off your books. What does it tell you? You think anyone was going to pick up Zach Parise or
I think
38-year-old Zach Parise, 33-year-old Josh Bailey, 31-year-old Kyle Palmieri? No one's going to pick those guys up.
I think someone will pick Parise. Someone will be more prone to pick Parise up than Clutterbuck or Bailey and items like that.
No one would have picked him up. No one.
Okay. Drew L also says, you know who else people didn't think much of coming out of college? Justin Herbert. I always thought extremely highly of Justin Herbert.
Too.
But here's the thing: got to start winning.
Better coach.
Needs to start winning some games because you're going to get branded really quickly as you cannot win football games. I think his coach sucks ass, but in the same token, you got to start winning some football games.
Here's the thing: their coach hamstrings him with his stupid play calls, going for it on fourth down all the time. He beats himself. They beat themselves all the time with his dumb play calls. Just dumb. He's just a dumb coach.
I'll let you read that there, Grumpy.
I think Jalen Hurts gets exposed in the playoffs, to be honest. The only caveat is how bad the NFC is. Yeah, playoffs are a little bit different. I like Jalen Hurts. I like him as a person, first and foremost. He handled the situation in Alabama extremely well. You never heard him trash talking the team when they decided to put Tua Tagovailoa in there over him. He just said, okay, well, I'm not going to play. He played there a year under him. He says, I'm going to go to Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley formed him as a passer, did a great job with him. And you've seen that growth continue in the NFL with under Nick Satriani and the fact that they've got some weapons there now. A.J. Brown was a huge pickup for them. Huge. What a great pickup for them. They also made a trade, I believe it was yesterday or today, to pick up Robert Quinn, a really good rush end from the Chicago Bears for a fourth-round pick. I mean, that's a great move for a team that's all in this year. I mean, I don't like the Eagles because I hate the whole city of Philadelphia, but that's a smart move and good for them. They're going for it. Good for them.
Speaking about Philly, I will be rooting against the Philadelphia Phillies in the postseason. I'll be rooting for the Houston Astros. No doubt about it.
The Astros are the best team. They're the best team.
I would agree. I'd agree. I'd be shocked if the Astros lost.
Now, if you just had an East against West matchup, you're not even talking about. You would have had the Dodgers against the Braves.
No,
and you would have had the Yankees getting swept still by Houston.
Well, hold on. Where did you put the Padres in that equation?
They were a wild card team. You don't make the playoffs if you don't win damn division.
Oh, okay. So you reverted back to the only top 4 teams. Okay.
That's it. Means something. 162 games is a long time. It means something.
Drew L said weapons make the quarterback. So maybe Daniel Jones needs a legitimate number 1 wide receiver. And maybe he's a top 15 quarterback in the league. Just maybe. No, he's not. Everything that could possibly go right for Daniel Jones this season has. He's got a top tier running back in Barkley. And I'm not a huge Barkley fan. I think he's a very boomer, but he's a better Reggie Bush. As I've said multiple times, he's electric when he does make these huge plays. Other than that, he's just not very consistent. That being said, he's got top tier running back. I think he's got a good tight end, a solid tight end weapon. I think his wideout weapons are okay. And he's got a good line, great defense as well. He currently is just a game manager with limited weapons that he's got.
This is the same team they had last year.
Yes.
For the most part. Same exact team.
Better coaching, obviously.
With better coaching. Good coaches can put you in a good position to win. Players win games. Daniel Jones is playing much better this year than he did last year or the year before or the year before that. They did not pick up his 5th-year option, though.
Drew L says, although, I don't know, because they would have had to do that before the season started. Drew L says, although Wan'Dale Robinson looks good, I'll say that. Joseph C says, I know the MLB won't do it, but they should shorten the regular season. If they're going to make it feel meaningless, then might as well act accordingly.
Why won't they do that, TJ? That's right. Money.
Too much
money. Why? They can still do the 162 and just extend their season. It used to be October, right? Mr. October, then Mr. November. What are they going to do? Start playing till the middle of December now?
Stop. Mr. December. Drew L said, TJ, I got that one. Yeah, crying from Sixers. My gosh, she's ridiculous. Drew L said, look at the difference between my Knicks and the Nets. The Knicks are 3-1 with a ton of depth. The Nets 1-3 with a third best player being Nick freaking Claxton.
Yikes.
Joseph C said, I'll never understand how these team draft franchise quarterbacks, then leave them to the Wolves. No O-line.
To the who?
No, to the Wolves. The Wolves.
Not Wolves. Not to the Wolves.
It leaves them to the Wolves, Scrumpy. No O-line, no running back, and no wide receivers. How are they expected to succeed?
It's best. Okay. The problem is when you are bad enough to get a franchise quarterback, you have to pick one and build around them. It's not like you say, okay, yeah, we have the first pick in the draft. I know we don't have a quarterback, but you know what? Our offensive line sucks. So let's not get that franchise guy and let's pick up an offensive lineman. It's not going to happen.
You know what I forgot to put? You know who else is a better quarterback? Grumpy old man than Lamar Jackson?
Mitchell Trubisky?
Zach Wilson. He's a superstar quarterback, Grumpy. And we got all these Jets fans. Zach Wilson, much better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. That's right, Jets fans. I expect to see overwhelming support in that discussion. Drew L says, TJ, I'm sorry. I'm off the Pickett train. At best, he's going to be another Jimmy G.
Jimmy G.
The emphasis on pick and Pickett.
Oh!
Drew L just doesn't understand football. That's okay. On some of those points, maybe he doesn't.
You throw the ball
I'm telling you this.
Team, it's not good. He does that a lot.
I'm telling you this. You look at some of those interceptions. I've liked what I've seen. He's made bad decisions. He could throw the freaking football. That's the thing. He could throw the football. He's accurate and he's mobile. He's got a hard freaking ball too. It's not like he throws these little floaters down the field. Kenny Pickett will be successful in this league. Kenny Pickett will. I will say this again. Kenny Pickett will be a successful quarterback in this league. Mark my freaking words.
So he will be successful. Hold on. So he's played 2 games in the NFL? 2?
He started 2 games.
But he's played 2 games because he missed half He missed half of the one that he.
Oh, you're not going to count. Okay, so the half
I'm
that
just
he
saying
came to replace, we're not
played the
counting. We're only going to
equivalent.
count that as a half, and then half.
I'm saying he played. Yeah, he played the equivalent of 2 games, and I think he leads the NFL in interceptions. He blows.
I've liked what I've seen out of Kenny Pickett.
So defenses, they love him.
Uh-huh. He's got a good arm.
You heard of Peter Puck? He's Peter Pick.
Peter Pick. Kenny Pickett this weekend, 17 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, 5,000 yards passing.
Let's see. We'll see.
What a film saying, "Hi guys, what's up, Sean? I'm without internet right now, and I can't use my phone. I can't use my phone data. I love you guys. Can't wait to get dialed in. LOL. Keep up the great work. I'll be with you soon. Thank you, Sean, for checking in. Much love as always." Joseph C said, "If New England was smart, they'd try to tank and draft a real quarterback, not another noodle arm like Mac Jones and Tua."
I think that Mac Jones's arm is better than Tua. His weapons aren't anywhere near as good as Tua's, but I think Belichick's messed with his head. I really do.
Belichick be doing that. He could do that. Drew L said, also, TJ, I sent you Kadarius Toney beefing with a random person on Instagram DMs. Hold on. Grumpy, do you know what Instagram is, first off?
It's another one of those little silly little things where people do whatever.
Instagrams, you post pictures and videos.
Okay.
That's what that is. And do you know what the DMs are?
Direct message.
Hey! I'm excited. But yes, direct message. That's right, Grumpy. So I'm going to pull this up on screen. It does not, I'll put it like this. It's not like it's as faked or anything like this. And this is not a good look by Kadarius Toney. I will read it to you because I know you will not be able to read this.
You're right.
Kadarius Toney said, "Love you more, brother." Kadarius Toney said that. And the Giants sideline, which what I assume that Twitter handle is just a Twitter handle to where they support the New York Giants. They just post about the Giants, and that's all. They said, "Man, quit crying on IG and Twitter and move on. I understand you're petty. I understand that you're petty that you got traded, but move on." So what happened then after that, Kadarius Toney decided to direct message this fan site. That would be like us commenting, "Josh Bailey, get over it, you suck ass." And Josh Bailey hitting our asses up in the DMs. How dare you think that we can't do it? That's what this would be compared to, Grumpy.
It's never a good look if you get involved directly with the fans. It's a mistake. You leave town, you just say,
"Thank you so much." That's it.
If you say anything at all, if you were so miserable there, you don't say anything. If you just say, "Hey, thanks for the memories, Giants Nation," whatever, and just move on, and you don't even look at it again.
Yep.
Because you know you're going to get attacked when you only play 4 games in 2 years. You know they're going to come after you. Mm-hmm. You just let it go. Or don't comment at all.
Oh my God. This Giants sidelines, by the way, has 0 pictures on it. So I don't have any posts. It's just somebody who posts on other pictures. So it's an odd one. But he says, crying for what? He said, "You just a bitch ass N-word. I'm referring to in my post. Move on." He says, "Go make rap songs and fake more injuries." It's a giant sideline.
See, that's the thing. These athletes, there's no way the athletes are as quick-witted as some of these people.
You cannot win. Anytime you message the person, you automatically lose. You are a freaking superstar athlete, unbelievably talented superstar athlete. Anytime you get in any sort of talk or conversation, you automatically lose. It's that simple, Grump.
I mean, think about where he went from first-round draft pick for the Giants last year to being shipped out for a third rounder. I think this is win-win. I think it's good news for Kadarius Toney. I don't know how it's going to work out in Kansas City, but if it doesn't work out there, his career is just about over. I mean, that's about as friendly a pass receiving offense as you're ever going to find. If you can make plays, you're going to get the ball in your hands. Period. We're going to see.
And you think about it too. It took a while. For oh no, Drew, this is not even his account. Drew, I don't even think this is real. God damn it. We went with Drew on this one. I don't even think this is a real account. I know it's got a check mark next to it, but I cannot find this account
Is
anywhere.
it a blue check mark or a brown check mark?
It's a blue check mark.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure. Maybe he changed his name. I don't know. I tell you, I was trying to see the original post that he made to cause. Oh, hold on. Now here it is. God almighty. No, so here it is. Okay, this is real. Let me show you. I got to pull up the. I want to pull up the original. God almighty. Doesn't even have it on there. But yes, never mind. This is the correct one. I saw this. I'm like, God, this may be fake. No, Drew, you're right. I apologize. How dare I ever question you, Drew, on that one, buddy. But then you get a response. I'm sorry. Kadarius Toney said, all right, do. And never faked an injury. Laughed my ass off. Like I said, false info. Pussy. You just upset. Ion blame you, pussy. ION.
Is
like
that Florida
ions.
education? Is that Florida?
Ion
Florida
blame
education.
you, pussy. And then the guy responds back, learn how to be professional. Your career isn't going nowhere.
Well,
check your bank account before responding. Oh, that's what Kadarius Toney says.
First, we hear the Florida education, and then we heard the guy next time he commented, I guess maybe he wanted to speak to his level. He's like, obviously can't write. Maybe he doesn't understand the written word, so I'll kind of talk like him. And then I
don't know how you're looking at the grammar on both sides. Both these individuals
he didn't conjugate his verb correctly either.
I was about to say, your career isn't going nowhere. Yeah, your career is not going anywhere. But hey, whatever. Check your bank account before responding, says Kadarius Toney. Says the N-word on somebody's couch. Learn to be professional. And then he just says, pussy again. He says, look at you, man. You ain't ever going anywhere. And then laughing faces. So your career is going to end very soon if you act like this, grown man. I'm like, God almighty. How? I mean, like all these NFL players, you would like to think have a publicist or somebody who works on the media team that their agent knows. And you figure they'd be like, hey, Kadarius, I know you're
what the hell's going on?
I know you're coming into the league, but there's a few things you always want to know. Don't ever engage with anybody on social media unless it puts you in a very positive light. Like somebody with cancer wants you to sign a football for their kid. Then you go out there and do it because it puts you in a positive light. Do not respond to any hate on social media. Act like it doesn't exist. You cannot win by getting into a pissing match with a troll online. It's rule number one. But Kadarius Toney, the talent's there. There's no doubt about that, Grumpy. No doubt at all about that.
An agent really has his work cut out for him dealing with a guy like that.
Agents have their work cut out with them. Every single sports agent has their work cut out for them. You see some of these guys are just nuts.
Well, it's some of the guys, but here's the thing. That's what they get paid for, man. Just doing spin control, damage control. It's like, dudes, I mean, they get a nice chunk of change, but still it's like, man, everything's like putting out fires all the time because these guys are just dumb. Dumb. Scary, stupid. Dumb.
Gungun says, let's talk personal hygiene. How crucial is it if somebody stinks like BO? Is it hard to take them seriously? Yes.
I disagree. I don't think but here's the thing. They're going to be unforgettable. That's for certain. If someone has constant BO where they stink every day, that's somebody who you're going to remember forever.
They might even have a name. They might even have a name associated with them too.
Very true. For anybody else who stinks, they will get that other person's name. Very, very possible. But the whole thing is, I don't think it has anything to do with taking them serious or not. It probably is like, you might not be able to.
I could not respect somebody who smelled just disgusting. Couldn't respect him. I wouldn't listen to him.
Okay.
Couldn't do it. I just, every single time you'd speak, I'd be like, and here's the thing, I'd tell him like, dude, you smell awful.
Okay, I guarantee you would not say that to someone.
Yeah, for certain I would. I say it in a nice way and be like,
no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't say anything.
What are we supposed to do? What do you think you're supposed? If you run across somebody who just consistently smells heinous, what are you supposed to do? Just sit there and be like, wow, ooh, this is great.
This is some rando that you're talking to, and they stink. You say, man, you stink. You're going to say that to somebody's face?
No, I'm thinking this is like somebody you work with. Why would it care?
You're going to tell someone you work with. You're going to tell someone you work with.
You smell.
Man, you smell. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to tell you how that turns out. It doesn't. It doesn't turn out. You're going to be known as Rat Boy. That person's going to hate you forever. I mean,
why should they hate me? You now, after showering, you're probably going to be more friendly and have more individuals that associate with you. I'm sorry somebody had to tell you. So how the hell, if this person smells like shit, Grumpy, okay, I know this is a sports. We're all over the place today, but Jesus.
You don't do that. You're not going to do that. First,
maybe they don't know. And if you don't tell them, how will they ever? Because if a whole bunch of people take your mentality, they're going to keep going around smelling like shit because nobody ever lets them know you don't smell good. Whatever type of crap you rub on your body, does it make you smell good? You need to rub something else on it.
All you need to do is when they're not there, put some deodorant, some antiperspirant deodorant in their cube. You don't have to say anything.
Hold on. You think that's better? Dude, no, it's not. I'd be like, what gutless bastard put deodorant in my cube? I wish somebody would go and talk to me about it.
Why is someone doing this?
That's like hazing.
That's not hazing.
Here's some deodorant. It'd be like,
no, it's not like you're giving it to them. You
know what it'd be like? What you just suggested right there would be like saying for a guy who's morbidly obese, 400 pounds, leaving a salad at his desk. Oh, he's going to get the message. Let me leave a salad at his desk, this fat bastard, instead of saying, hey, is everything going all right with your health? Let's just leave a salad at his desk. He'll understand. No, just talk to the person.
Why would you want to give somebody who's morbidly obese more food? Isn't that kind of mean?
A salad, Grumpy. A salad helps them know, like,
so they're just going to eat. They're just going to have their, it's like someone who will order like a triple Whopper with 4 orders of fries and a Diet Coke.
Here's the thing, Grumpy. I know you don't eat any salads. There's not a lot of caloric value in salads, my friend. But so it'd be like giving a fat guy a salad, is what you're saying. So you would, I cannot believe you would do that shit. You drop off a deodorant stick. I need to know what the people think who listen to the show. I'm anti-deodorant stick.
This is what happens in the real world in the workplace.
The real world in the workplace. Tell us what happens. Regardless, we're tired, man. Regardless what happens.
This is what happens. This guy smells whoever, or this lady smells whoever, and she goes, tells her buddy, man, can you smell what's his name? And everyone in the office is talking about Smell Dog in Cube C. Okay? That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to wind up happening. Everyone is going to be talking about Smell Dog, or they're going to go talking to all the people. Man, doesn't that one smell?
Yes.
I mean, that's what's going to happen. No one is going to go up. No one's going to go up to Cube C and say, hey, you smell. No one's going to do that.
That's not how you say it. That's not how you say it. But I agree. Once you come to the consensus that it's not just your freaked up nose and that other people are smelling the same thing you are, I think it's your right as a coworker and a friend to say, is everything going all right, man? Yeah,
is everything going all right, man? Why? Yeah, sure. Why? Yes, because you fucking smell. Is that what you're trying to say? That's how we go?
I'll say it exactly like that in exact verbiage. Because you fucking smell. No, I wouldn't say it like that, Grump. Jesus.
Oh, my God. Maybe you just pass it up to your supervisor.
Oh, so the supervisor now has to have that conversation.
Unsafe workplace.
Or it's a super.
I'm getting nasal damage every day, having to sniff the fumes coming from Cube C.
I had to have my septum removed after this recent freaking go at work. I had to work overtime, and the septum need to be removed, right? But no, Grumpy, so what's the supervisor going to do? Just drop off a deodorant stick? What type of deodorant stick are you dropping off, Grumpy? Right Guard, Old Spice? What type of deodorant stick are you dropping off?
A perfume bomb. Just...
Oh my God.
Tell everyone to check out. We're fumigating the building. Oh, you can stay in there, Cube C.
Yeah, don't worry. We need you to actually stay in here. Drew L says, Zappy does zap the ball when he throws it hard. Better arm than Mac Jones.
Okay. I don't think Zappy has a better arm than Mac Jones. I don't think.
I'll be honest with you. I can't even say I've watched any of those games. I have not watched any of the Bailey Zappi performance. It's tough to watch that. It's tough to watch the Patriots. I'd have to be a fan. You'd have to pay me to watch the Patriots if I wasn't a fan. It's not good football. Drew L says, better Reggie Bush, bro. TJ, he's rushing over 100 yards a game. Reggie Bush was a guy who's a very boomer bust runner. He would break huge runs, and he'd be electric on a few plays, and then he'd be 2 yards, 1 yard, 3 yards, 1 yard, 1 yard, 2 yard, 500-yard rushing attempt. I mean, he would be a guy who really broke out through spurts. And TJ, I watched half of the Honest Never Said That podcast yesterday. I saw the Tony Cheese comment asking me where I was. I didn't know. I was such the life of the show here. Absolutely. Meatball Parm also says likely long-term Islanders to come off the books next year.
No one. Unless you're under 25, then you run the risk of losing your job.
Drew L says Pickett made 2 stupid throws late in the game last week. Pickett also has a better arm than Trubisky, but his arm is not great. I'll say the last throw was questionable. He made some questionable throws, but the ones he hit players in stride. I'm telling you, I feel confident he's going to be able to perform at the top level. Goon says if Mr. Kraft was a zillionaire, would he still
wasn't a zillionaire?
Wasn't a zillionaire. I'm sorry. God, if I can read. If Mr. Kraft wasn't a zillionaire, would he have been able to still attract an attractive young wife? Or would she have rejected that old fart in 3 seconds flat?
She wouldn't have rejected him. She just wouldn't even have acknowledged him.
Mm-hmm.
She's a doctor of something. I don't know. Maybe she's a masseuse.
Got him from Deshaun Watson. Hooked him up. Well, remember, Robert Kraft has had his little run-ins with the masseuse parley before.
I don't know. It seems to be an issue.
I will tell you this. Just like the NFL organizations and everything else, the only color that Robert Kraft's wife sees now is green. Just like all these other big business. She's just a freaking tycoon. She's just a big business. She's
47. Man. She looks damn good for 47. He's 81, 82. He looks every bit of that.
Yes. He's looking old. Well, these recent use of that Tom Brady has aged him significantly as an owner.
Yeah. No Tom Brady. Our team sucks. Value of our franchise has gone down the tubes. I decided not to keep Brady when he wanted to stay. And I stuck with Belichick. How the hell is that working out for me?
Gungun says, Grumpy, what's the worst rock concert you ever attended? And TJ, what's the worst baseball card you had ever spent hard-earned dollar on?
Worst concert I ever saw. I saw Genesis at Giant Stadium back in, 1987, 88. I didn't really want to go. Genesis is okay. Actually, no, there's been other ones that haven't been good. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Oh, man. I'll tell you, I thought you were going to say Barracuda.
Genesis wasn't bad.
Barracuda. You don't Pat Benatar.
First of all, I like Pat Benatar. No, it's Hart. But Hart also played with Little River Band, which was yuck, but the Eagles. And I really went to see the Eagles. It was like one of those all-day concerts that they used to hold at Meadowlands. And I like the Eagles. So
the worst card I ever spent.
And Hart isn't bad. They're really good. But I can't listen to Barracuda. That song I can't listen to. There's other stuff I love.
Barracuda.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't. It gives me a headache just thinking about it.
Gungun, I think you're going to try to force me into saying my Lastings Millage card, but I do love that card. It's just so sleek looking. And even though it's a valueless card, it has sentimental value to me. So Drell says, TJ, I only sent factual shorts. Never doubt the king of the podcast. There it is. Tony Cheese says, I'm pretty sure when these players get drafted, they get a course on social media engagement. They should. I'm not sure if they should. Their publicist should be like, hey, we're going to sit down for 2 hours really quickly and just go over some do's and don'ts, right? These seem like they're very easy to know and everybody should do them, but sometimes there's just an update for a client or two.
Most of these players have IQs of about 75.
Stop. You think football players are dumb, Grumpy?
They're not real bright. They're just not. Okay. And they get a boatload of money and they just like they're pissing out of a fire hydrant. That's the way it is. Like, I mean, that's what they do. It just, you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink.
Gungun says, is the kazoo a legitimate musical instrument or merely child's play?
It's a legitimate musical instrument. And just to tell you, when the warden and I got married, we had people, everyone got a kazoo, and they had to play the wedding march on the kazoo when we came in. It started off good, and then they got kind of at the end, but it was still good. Everyone remembers that from our wedding. Everyone.
That's what it was?
Yep.
God. Jesus H. I just learned.
No one forgot it.
Old man. That's for certain.
It's something you don't forget.
That's true, I guess. Good gracious. Drew L says, sounds like whoever had bad BO needs a Dr. Squash sponsorship. Gungun says, replying there from the earlier personal hygiene discussion, although TJ is right about telling someone they stink, if you did that at your job, you may get fired, especially if especially in these oversensitive times. Here's the thing. If my boss would try to come up there and fire me, I'd be like, dude, who's going to tell him? What do you want to do?
That's why you go to your boss, you kick it upstairs, you let somebody higher up take care of that.
Oh, yeah. You know what?
Does this person work for you, or is it just somebody in Cube C?
Let's just say it's somebody in Cube C.
Then you pass it up to your boss and say, that smell is offensive to me.
Okay,
and
okay.
then you let them handle
somebody random. If I know the person, I'm going to be like, hey, dude.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not going to do it. You might talk big. It's not going to happen.
All right, I need somebody at the movie theater to start smelling like shit. I'm going to let them know. Tony Cheese says, where I work, we'll give you a gift basket of soaps and deodorants, unless the reason they smell is because of religious beliefs.
See, you don't know that. See, could be
possible. Who smells because of religious beliefs?
Maybe people don't believe in showering. That's part of their religion.
Okay, fair enough. I guess.
And here you are running them down. You're going to lose your damn job.
There it is. People do not believe religious beliefs. I abstain from showering. Personal hygiene. Gungun says, I totally forgot about Mr. Kraft being caught in a compromising position with a masseuse. That's right. Wasn't he supposedly going to be in deep doo-doo? Nothing happened, of course, because money talks.
And here's the thing. He's smart because he's a businessman. He's not like one of these dumb players. He just kept his mouth shut, just ignored it, paid a little fine, whatever it was. It wound up dropping down to a misdemeanor, and that's it. No one ever talks about it again.
Yep. If you're smart, you lay low and you stay quiet. It's the same thing that freaking Joe Mixon did after he pummeled that lady and broke her jaw. I mean, that was a vicious. I always use him as an example because it was such a violent act. She slapped him in the face, and this guy just said, I'm going to freaking break your jaw. Second round pick. No suspension in the NFL. Got a little bit of a suspension in college. Well, he went to Oklahoma, right?
Yep.
A little bit of a suspension in college, if I remember, a few game suspension. But NFL said, come on in. Welcome you with open arms. Joe Mixon, come on in. And trust me, it's not going to prevent me from drafting him in fantasy football because, man, oh, man, does that guy put up points. What can I say? I'm just like the NFL. Whatever brings me a green result and the win at the end of the week makes me happy. Drew L said, especially in hip-hop or the hype man or the rapper tells you anything about what you need. They bring some energy for turning up. Probably means your music sucks, dude. Okay. Learn something new about hip hop. Mario says, reading some comments on the outer Facebook groups, I am more convinced than ever that these so-called fans are Lamarillo lackeys than a true Islander fan. Blaming Bellows for wasting the opportunities he was given or calling him a bust. Unreal.
How many games did he actually play for the Islanders?
Maybe like 10.
How is that being given an opportunity? And he put up numbers too. He put up numbers. 7 minutes a night, 8 minutes a night, still scores. I think he probably played, maybe 40 games for the Islanders in his career, if that.
I think that's a lot. He played more than that. I'm sorry, he played 45 games last year and had 19 points.
That's not bad. And what were his minutes
per
game?
60, maybe like 60 some odd games. 60 some odd games he played in the NHL, and total points he had for the Islanders it's about 25.
That's Josh Bailey like.
But imagine Josh Bailey playing fourth line minutes and putting up those point totals.
Yeah, well,
wouldn't be happening. That's for certain. Here's the thing, and we're going to talk about this on Saturday. I hope he freaking lights the Islanders up. I hope he freaking lights the Islanders up, and I hope the Islanders rue the day that they freaking released him for nothing. They waived him for nothing. Awful. The one game you give him after a fantastic preseason, 7 minutes and 16 seconds of ice time.
That's
Disturbing.
it.
Absolutely disturbing. Disturbing. Drew L said, I'd rather attend a new age Blink 182 concert for the rest of my life than see these carbon copy rapper concerts. Plus, I'd get more hype at bands anyway with guitars, drums, and a singer.
Yeah, I mean, music sucks.
Yeah, weren't they also threatening to release the video of Robert Kraft's happy ending video? I seem to remember that too. Yeah, I think they were.
But here's the thing: his lawyers kept that out.
Yep. And
he just kept his mouth shut. You didn't see him shooting off Instagram messages or trying to flame somebody on Twitter or anything like that. No, he just kept his mouth shut. Didn't say anything.
Joe said, at least if you're talking about Lamarillo's lackey, at least Bathtub Jake of the Drive for Five both think Lou sucks now. Yeah, should have been thinking that a while ago. Gungun says, Tony Cheese, what's your top cheese selection? I'm a Swiss cheese type of guy personally. What about you, TJ? What type of cheese do you like, Grumpy?
Just mozzarella cheese, the only cheese I eat.
Just mozzarella. Okay, hold on. Back that up. You just eat mozzarella cheese?
That's it.
Yikes.
Just mozzarella cheese. That's it.
I eat any type of cheese. I do like fresh mozzarella, though. I like Swiss. I like provolone. Provolone's a cheese I like.
What cheese? Maybe we should ask what cheese you don't like.
I do not like blue cheese. Absolutely freaking not. That disgusting. Like, it tastes like mold. Drew L says, American is my favorite cheese because I've bred patriotism. There it is. I breed patriotism. Sorry. But yes, this is a report, grumpy old man. This is from you. It was, they write it. Obviously, Barstool wrote about it, but it was in US Weekly. Apparently, a close friend to Brady and Giselle said Giselle is giving Brady an ultimatum to retire or she's gone for good. Apparently, the reason behind this was because Giselle wants to be able to spend, her age with Tom Brady and doesn't want him to get hurt. So she wants him to retire and doesn't want to have to worry about him having long-term injuries.
I don't even understand that. I don't understand that logic. Just don't.
The guy's the quarterback. It's not like he's a freaking lineman or a freaking running back. He's a QB. He gets hit how many times a game? Maybe like 15 times a game, if that.
Yeah, that's a lot for him, though. It is.
Just saying 15. I'm saying maximum 15 times a game.
I don't know.
Do you disagree, Grumpy?
I never understood that. Why? All right, so he wants to continue playing football. How long do you think that's really going to go on for? A year or two? That's it? That's it, tops? Because guess what? Once you're really gone out of the league, you ain't never coming back. Not at that age. You're never coming back. That's it. His life, as far as he's concerned, is over. His professional career is over at that point.
It is.
So she doesn't care if he plays, but she doesn't mind if he goes and does broadcast games, for 10 years. So because he's already signed a contract that I believe was with Fox.
Yes.
Where he's going to do game, broadcaster. So that doesn't bother her. So he's going to be gone just as many weeks, probably longer.
Injuries.
I don't understand.
Drew else this is Ben Simmons stats through 4 games, 5.7 points per game. Yikes. 6 rebounds a game and 7 assists a game. Compared to his 2019-2020 season stats. Yeah, much better. My God, can you believe that? 5.7, 6, and 7. Guy's averaging 5 points a game right now.
He's a triple single.
There it is. The triple single himself. What's up, Frank? How are you? And now Bellows will score on us often. I hope so.
Wouldn't it? Yeah, wouldn't it be just apropos?
I do have one player I'm going to root for. I do have one player I'm going to root for on the Flyers going forward. His name starts with a K. And his last name starts with a B. Kiefer Bellows, of course.
Tortorella is going to play him against us. That's a guarantee.
I want to talk. We talked briefly on the hockey podcast about this, Grumpy. Who had the bigger collapse, the Yankees or the Mets this season? I'm in the Mets. I'm in the Mets side of the Mets point of view here. You're in the Yankees. Tell me your point as to why you think the Yankees were more disappointing this season.
Because the Yankees have been in the same position for how many years now? and you just continue to just double down on something that doesn't work. The home run ball, home run or nothing. We don't care about pitching. It's about our slugging. The Mets, year one under Steve Cohen, transitioning to a team that can win multiple ways. Went out and got the pitching. They have off-season issues to take care of, but nobody was saying at the beginning of the year, "Oh man, Mets are a favorite for the World Series." No one was doing that.
Okay. I think there were apt assessments that was a possibility.
They weren't the favorites.
You look at what they had to do, what they did this offseason, man. I don't know, dude. They spent a lot of money. They made a lot of moves and additions to where I was disappointed.
Okay.
Unbelievable. I mean, you had Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer, what is he? A top 10 pitcher in the MLB? Even at his age, top 10 in the MLB, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they signed to a 3-year contract.
Okay, so they signed Max Scherzer, who, again, is not getting better as he continues to age, as his mid to late 30s. They go ahead and bring in Bassett. Oh, he's supposed to help. Bam! Huge improvements.
Bassett was really good for them in the regular season.
How did they perform when it counted?
So they had one bad game.
Not one bad game. They all played like every single one of those pitchers shit the bed against the Atlanta Braves in that last series where they need to win at least one game. Every single one of them did. No, one bad game,
DeGrom pitched okay.
Ugh.
They ran into a hot team. It happens. Scherzer had a bad game. It happens.
You add Starling Marte, you add bats, you add arms, and you just freaking collapse.
Well, that's what happens when you play a best of 3 because you don't win division and you don't get the first round bye. That's what happens.
I don't know. I did want to show you Michael Kay speaking about the Yankees, and he's talking about the Yankees and how the mental, I think it was the mental fortitude coach or the mental health coach. I can't remember what the name of it, but where they tried to gather inspiration from. When they were down 3-0 in the series against the Houston Astros.
This guy works for the Yankees Entertainment.
Yankees Entertainment Network?
Yes.
Or for Yes Network?
Yes.
The Yankees have a mental skills coach.
Mental skills coach, that's it.
He put together a video of the 2004 Red Sox coming back from 0-3 down. How, in baseball God's name, can you be so tone deaf as an organization as if to do that? How can you be that tone deaf? I mean, talk about bad optics. Are you out of your mind? Do you know that I talked to 3 players from the 04 team? They were outraged by the fact that their failure was being used as motivation for the 2022 team. How could you do that? It would be like...
Do you want to add in on that, Grumpy?
I 100% agree. Here's my thing.
Well,
he works for the Yankees. This guy works for the Yankees.
Remind him that 04 collapse when the Red Sox came back down 3-0, that was to beat the Yankees.
That's right.
So the Yankees the Yankees organization. Was that
Aaron Boone and some? First of all, the fact that you need a mental health coach. What does it tell me?
It wasn't that. It was named something different, not a mental.
I don't care what he is. If you need something like that, your team's in trouble. Mental health coach.
It's not a mental health coach, but we'll go back to watching it.
Somebody from Lincoln's family, and you're trying to teach them about shootings in theaters, and you use their dad as an example of how to avoid it. I mean, are you out of your mind? And then to make it worse, Eduardo Perez, who's doing the game with Dan Shulman on ESPN Radio, has Aaron Boone FaceTime with David Ortiz. And Ortiz supposedly gave some advice about how to. If I'm Aaron Boone, and I know that Eduardo Perez tried to walk it back. Well, they were joking around about the Philadelphia Eagles or whatever, but no. Here, Aaron Boone has to say to David Ortiz or to Edward, no, thank you, but no, that we're not going there. And here's the amazing thing, Don and Peter. They told the media. They told the media. Aaron Boone told the media. Oh, yeah, we put together a tape of the 04 Red Sox. Oh, my goodness. I hate to do it. I hate to do it because I don't want it done on the show. If George Steinbrenner were alive today, somebody would be fired to do something like that. Absolutely. That's tone deaf. You're going to use the darkest moment in Yankees history, the darkest moment on field in Yankee history, where they blow a 3-0 lead, the only team to ever do that, and you're going to use that as motivation for the 2022 Yankees. Didn't you have any video?
Yeah, Grumpy. Not a good look for the Yanks at all. We talked about it, but I think Michael Kay put it very aptly. Yikes, a complete blunder.
And they're already saying that they're keeping Cashman and Boone for next year. I'm sorry. Cashman was good in his day, 20 years ago. That time's up. It's over. Move on.
Do you remember Britt Reed, Grumpy Old Man?
Yes, I do.
Andy Reid's son, who was arrested. Now, I believe this was the week before the Super Bowl. He was arrested for hitting somebody with a DWI, I believe.
Killed somebody, I believe.
Did he kill?
I think he killed somebody, and someone else is, really in, tough shape. And the Kansas City Chiefs said they would kind of pay for their long-term care, stuff like that. I don't know if he was fired or resigned, or he's not with the Chiefs organization anymore, Britt Reed. And they say he's going to jail. I think he's getting a 4-year sentence. That's what he got, I believe, plead down to is 4 years.
Well, okay, I was going to tell that if you didn't rush to it. But yes, I guess, Grumpy, way to go ahead and discuss something that I wanted to kind of bring in. Way to just say, yeah, I got 4 years. All right. You wanted to kind of pick the story, my friend. Yes, okay. This was during that 2000, or I think it was during that 2001, before they went to the Super Bowl. And they were in a spot to where
2021.
2021. And it was right before the Super Bowl. And they talked about it all the time. Oh, how's this weighing on Andy Reid? Is this all this? So what had come out, he pled guilty, obviously, for doing so. He told police he had 2 or 3 drinks before crashing into 2 cars and leaving the facility. He was drinking at the Kansas City Chiefs facility, left, and he did the collision caused a 5-year-old girl to have brain trauma. So I'm unsure of exactly what the brain trauma or how the detail of the brain trauma, but only 4 years, of jail time.
I guess he didn't kill anybody, right? He didn't kill anybody.
He didn't kill anybody, but he hit somebody driving 84 miles an hour in a 65-mile-an-hour zone.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not saying he shouldn't have got more than but that's what happens when you have money. They're paying for this person's prolonged health care. I mean, he's going to jail. I don't.
Okay.
Murderers get 10 years. If you're a murderer, you can get out after 11 years in prison.
That's nuts. That's nuts to me.
For murder, 11 years.
That's nuts. But here's exactly what it says. Ariel Young, a passenger in one of the 2 cars, was 5 years old at the time, sustained, among other injuries, a severe traumatic brain injury, brain contusions, a subdermal hematomas, a condition where blood collects between the skull and the surface of the brain. So again, doesn't mean much to me because I don't understand any of that stuff. The lovely page will understand more of that, but only 4 years. Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, I know the family's upset, but that's what it got pleaded down to. I mean, I don't know. He's going to jail.
No. Okay, it hasn't been agreed on. So Missouri law allows Mackenzie the discretion of sentencing Reed. So that's the judge. They allow the judge the discretion sentencing Reed to serve just 120 days in jail and to place him on probation for 5 years. But the prosecutors have recommended they want the entire 4 years in prison. What do you think he's going to get? Here's the thing. I think 4 years in prison for a DWI where it led to serious injury is, I don't know. At least I guess he didn't kill anybody, but a severe brain injury. But 4 years. But hey, maybe he could get it knocked down to only 120 days, Grumpy.
I don't think that's good. I think everyone's saying that he's going to get 4 years. I think that's what they kind of agreed upon, and whatever they put out there. Yes, the judge can change it, but they usually go with the recommendation of what the prosecution says.
Reed served a 6-month sentence in 2007 arrest for DUI in Pennsylvania. He's done this before. He said DUIs and DWIs before in the past. Yikes. 7 months before the arrest, he was charged with a gun and drug crimes that stemmed from road rage incident that same year. So he's had problems there before.
Yeah, he has, without a doubt. Andy Reid's, I think, one of his kids.
Yes, Garrett Reed received 23 months in jail after crashing into another car driving under the influence of heroin. And he died in accidental heroin overdose. My God.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. He died of a drug overdose. Andy Reid has had, I mean, I feel bad for Andy Reid, but, you know, you got to kind of be there for your kids. Maybe that's why.
I was about to ask you the same question. Does any of the earnest come on him for not being there for the kids?
No. I mean, it seems like he wanted the other son after the first one died, because I believe he was a staffer for the Eagles, Derek Reed. And it seemed like that, you know, he wanted
Garrett with the G, Garrett Reed. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. I believe he was a staffer with the Eagles. I mean, it looks like he tried to keep Britt on the straight and narrow, but I mean, you know, they're men, they're grown adults.
I'm sure he didn't spend too much time with them as kids, because your pursuit of being an NFL head coach it's quite time consuming.
Exactly.
Right? It's not like it's a part-time job. That's a job where you pretty much live, breathe, and sleep football for your entire life. And maybe the kids didn't get the attention they needed. So who knows? It's an odd one. It's an odd one for certain, Grumpy.
Yes.
Jamar Chase, by the way, out 4 to 6 weeks. We didn't have a chance to talk about that, but out 4 to 6 weeks with a hip injury. Yikes.
But here's the thing. They have Tyler Boyd. They have T. Higgins.
Yes.
They have Joe Mixon. Joe Burrow is hot. He's starting to heat up at the right time of the year.
They've got Hayden Hurst as a good tight end option. They've got a lot of options.
Yeah, they have options. They're going to be okay. It's better that he's ready for playoffs.
Correct. But, you know, you think about a guy, very talented young wide receiver, already having a little bit of a banged up issue, having an injury this early in his career. I mean, Jamar Chase is not an overly large fella. He's a smaller, slight individual, and he's super quick and speedy.
He plays bigger than his size, I think.
He's tough. I'm say for his size, he's really tough. The only thing I think to myself is this going to be a guy who's already going to start collecting injuries at a young age? That doesn't bode well for long-term success. Hip injuries.
It's one injury.
Okay. I'm just saying, you know, you just always think those type of things. The same thing like a Justin Jefferson goes down for a long time period. I'm like, okay. I mean, a 4 to 6 week injury is a quite, you know, I'd say that's somewhat severe. Anyway, a triple single. Good one, Grumpy. I chuckled there. And I know it's only 5 games in, but Luka and Banchero have been freaking good, dude. Yeah, I was about to say, Banchero has been off to a really hot start, Grumpy.
He's good. He's like a point guard in a power forward's body. I just don't know if he's got killer instinct.
You've always said that about it. But if you look at his first 5 NBA games, 28 points, 21 points, 23 points, 20 points, 27 points, always picking up rebounds, getting some blocks, steals, assists, etc. The Magic are 0-5, though.
Yeah.
So
not good.
I'll put it large screen because he has played really well, I think. I mean, again, watching highlights.
Shot clock.
Yeah, he's good. He is good. He's more, I'll tell you what, he's playing more aggressive than he did at Duke.
And, you know, that comes with it. My God, hold on. Look at Kevin Love's still playing for the freaking Cavs. Wow. Kevin Love, Grumpy.
That's a big contract he signed.
Hey, he wants that money. I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either. He signed a contract. He definitely wants to get paid.
That's what I said. He said he wants that money. There is Kevin Love out there, Grumpy, on the court. Oh, man. Banchero's played well.
I wanted to talk about something that's been bothering me for a while. But maybe we'll save it for another podcast.
Oh, we talk about it now because we're not podcasting on Sunday. So talk about it now.
Alex Rodriguez versus Aaron Judge in the postseason. Everyone always ripped Alex Rodriguez for being just non-clutch, invisible in the playoffs, and I thought he got a bad rap. And Aaron Judge just gets a pass. He just gets a pass. I don't hear anyone blasting Aaron Judge for being non-clutch or choking in the big moment. And I figured, you know what? I'm just going to eyeball their stats in the postseason just for the hell of it. And I looked up Alex Rodriguez. Now he's played in more games. 330 at-bats, 13 home runs, 41 RBIs, 77 strikeouts, and hit 259 with an on-base percentage of 365 and a slugging percentage of 457 and an OPS of 822. Now, Aaron Judge has played in 44 games, 198 at-bats, so a little bit more than half. He's got 13 home runs, only 25 RBIs, 66 strikeouts, hitting 211 with an on-base percentage of 310, slugging of 462, and an OPS of 772. And he does good in the wild cards and then not so good everywhere else. Or he does better in the wild cards. I just want to know why he's not getting the hate that A-Rod has always gotten over not being a clutch player when this guy's practically been virtually invisible and strikes out a third of the time.
A-Rod was an outside guy that played and competed with the same exact position that the star player did. Aaron Judge is a home raised guy, right? Drafted by the Yankees, product of the Yankees organization, and has always been part of the Yankees. That's why. A-Rod was not. A-Rod came in. A-Rod was dubbed at time periods a better shortstop.
A-Rod was a better shortstop than Derek Jeter. He acquiesced and went to third base.
I'm just saying, that's why you're wondering why. That's why.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I think he suffered because they had St. Derek playing shortstop, and he was, Mr. Clutch. But I mean, it's like if you look at the numbers, he's way better than Judge. Way better. Way better.
How much better, Grumpy?
Way better.
I want to show you this. I know you didn't get to see this, I'm sure, but it was all over social media. The first time I saw it, I was like, what the hell is it? So Russell Wilson was making his rounds again. He was talking about his trip over to London, Grumpy.
Isn't he injured? Doesn't he have a hamstring injury?
I guess he's traveling with the team.
Yeah.
So he's traveling with the team. That being said, they've got the early game. They're playing there at 8:30 in the morning against the Jags. Oof, like God Almighty! But he's talking about how the trip was, and let's listen to it.
I don't really get jet lag too often. I don't really. I've traveled enough to get kind of get my system down. But yeah, for me, I was on the plane first 2 hours. I was first 2 hours, probably 8 hours flight here. So first 2 hours, I was watching the film, watching all the cut-ups and everything else. And then for the next 4 hours, I was doing treatment on the plane. I was walking up and down the aisles. Everybody was knocked out. I was doing high knees and working on my legs and everything else, make sure I'm ready to rock. So that was good. And then the last 2 hours, the last hour of that, I fell asleep for 1 hour, and then I watched the film the rest. So I felt good to go once we got back. And then we had
Let me ask you this, Grumpy. He's getting some hate, I'm sure, which is not a shock for this comment. Are people now starting to be overly critical of Russell Wilson because he can't play at the same level? And now people are starting to notice that, holy crap, this guy seems like a nutcase? Or is this because it's all just part of the shit on the guy who's at the bottom of the list?
I think the first thing.
Okay. He can't play as well, so people are noticing these things that have always been kind of odd about him before in the past and being hypercritical of it now.
He was never the big guy out there talking in Seattle. It was always Pete Carroll.
Mm.
And sometimes it's good that that's the case. Obviously, you're learning that now. Right?
Oh, God. Hey, on his flight trip, Grumpy, he was over there. Hey, for the first 2 hours, studying game film, watching cut-ups. The next 4 hours, I was getting treatment. I was doing high knees up and down the plane, getting my exercise in, Grumpy. Then I slept for 1 hour. And I was back that next hour doing some more film study.
You know what?
Into the game, baby.
He just seems awful happy since he signed that big contract.
I do agree. It's like Bobby Bonilla. So, I mean, all of these, God almighty, all of these videos that are coming out Russell Wilson in the aisle of the plane, grumpy old man, getting his little workout in, I'm sure, as you could see.
Jesus.
I like this video creator. He's kind of funny. He does a lot of that stuff. But you're seeing like a whole bunch of these memes that are coming up over here, and they're all quite funny, grumpy old man. Oh, God almighty. Shake my hand. Oh, yeah. Russell Wilson's teammate in the middle of a red eye there, having a good time, dancing around. So everybody's obviously making fun of Russell Wilson. And, you know, you kind of feel for him a bit. He's always seemed like a nice guy, you know.
I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm just saying he signed that big contract. Seems mighty happy.
This is, you know, this one's grumpy.
Yeah, I know what it is. I don't care.
Broncos Nation, let's ride. I figured you get a kick out of that one, grumpy. But we do have one more item to talk about. We got a fan fight, Grump. Who doesn't love a fan fight? Want to make a quick mention. Phil Kessel, the Iron Man himself. Is this not the pinnacle peak of what it is to be an NHL player? If I look at Phil Kessel, I think to myself, this guy right here is at the freaking peak.
I think he looks
an absolute
nuts.
athlete.
I think he looks nuts.
Look at the pictures. This, by the way, is Bleacher Report Open Ice. So Bleacher Report, look at the pictures they chose for this to honor him in. This freaking picture.
That's the one right there. He's nuts. He's crazy.
Okay. Him eating hot dogs out of the Stanley Cup. Him over here looking like he's got the dad bod on as an NHLer. It's not a good look. They didn't pick anything where he looks good. Look at the picture from the USA hockey jersey. My God. He is not a guy you would expect to play 990 games in a row.
Hey, something to be said for that, though. Goes out every day because I guarantee he's been hurt before.
I tell you, so, you know, hats off to him. I just want to shit him a little bit. This suit that he's wearing here looks like he borrowed his brother's suit. It's too long for him, and he's got the tie all fucked up. Yeah, not a good look there. But hey, 990 games. Seriously though, what an accomplishment and feat. Do you think that ever gets broken? He's still playing, right? He's still healthy. Ideally, who knows where that's going to end? But do you think they're ever going to break that?
Yeah. I think consecutive games. It's only what? Not, what is it? Is it even 1,000? I don't think it's 1,000.
990 games. He's still playing.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to play a lot. You just got to be really good to be able to play that many years.
That's like 11 or 12 seasons without missing a game.
Yeah.
Depending on what he does this year. It's at least 11 seasons without missing a game.
He's had testicular cancer, so he missed time early in his career. I mean, so, you know, I mean, I've never been a big Phil Kessel fan, but he goes out. I mean, he plays every night. He's better than Josh Bailey. His 1,000 is much more valuable than Josh Bailey's 1,000. That's for sure.
So, by the way, it's 12. It's a little over 12 seasons already. He has not missed a game in over 12 seasons. Okay. That's just so hard. You're right, because you have to be, in order to, number one, play 12 years in the league, you have to be extremely talented.
Yes.
And to be extremely, you can't miss any game. A very talented player, not missing any maintenance days, not missing any. I've got a little bit of a niggling injury. He doesn't miss any time. 12 seasons without missing a game. That's nuts.
Yeah.
That is nuts, Grumpy. Tony Cheese says, for cheese, I'm going to have to go with mozzarella and American. Shocking. TJ eats every kind of cheese.
Yeah.
That is.
It should have been shocking. TJ eats every kind of cheese.
I'll let you read it. I'm going to let you read a few of these, Grumpy, and then we're going to get to the fan fight.
Okay. Joseph C. says, the Mets were, I know Joseph C. is not chirping today about yesterday's Islander Ranger game. He also says the Mets were short in the bullpen and still needed a power bat. Agree, 100% agree. McCann sucks. Kenha is a fourth outfielder. True. Escobar is too streaky, and he's usually not been streaky, but he was this year. And Ruff sucked too. I thought that was a dumb trade. Too many holes in the lineup. I'm on record. They should have went after Juan Soto.
Okay.
I think he would have solved two of those problems all by himself. Long term. Are we keeping you up?
Yeah, you're gonna kill me, Grumpy. You go down that as soon as you went.
Somebody had mentioned a question about it, so I answered it.
Back to the one. No, hold on. They didn't ask any question. They're just talking about how we needed bats. He said, as you know, I've always said.
And they were short in the bullpen. Yep. First round buy is overrated. It didn't do the Dodgers or the Braves any bit of good, did it? I don't know. I just rather have the four best teams playing. I don't need 50 teams in the playoffs. Don't need it.
Drew L's got a comment here for you, Grumpy.
Nobody fears the Yanks anymore. It's genuinely sad the Astros own the Yankees. I'm not watching any games until Cashman or Boone are gone. Well, that means you will not be watching them next year.
Oh, God.
I think he will.
Performance enchantment coach.
Performance. Jesus.
Grumpy Joseph C.
Did you guys see the Andy Martino's SNY report about Yankee players being mad they were booed, and it might be a reason why their free agents leave? Well, guess what? I've always said that playing in New York, it takes a special breed. It absolutely does. And if they're not up to it, see you later.
It's all about winning. That's it. That's
right.
the one thing that shocks me about the Islanders fan base. So many of these people like, no, we just need to trust and believe. These are the same motherfuckers who will boo the Yankees if they make let's say they even make it to the World Series. They boo them if they lose it. They'll boo them if you don't freaking win it all.
Or the Mets. Same thing with the Mets too.
The Mets, the Jets, the Giants. They'll be so hypercritical. The Rangers of every single fan base, but the Islanders, no. Hey guys, we're doing better.
It's because the Islanders have been losers for so long that fans just accept it.
Why would they change their ideology? They don't say, oh, okay, gotcha. I don't expect winning because, it's just the Islanders. No, they expect damn championships out of the Yankees year in and year out. That's the expectation for the Yankees, to win the World Series, to win the pennant every single year.
Yep.
That should be that's the expectation they have for most sports. Drew L says Cashman has really only won one World Series since 2000.
That's true. 2009, that was it.
Yep, because let's be real, those 90s teams were built by George Steinbrenner.
Yep.
And,
well, actually, Gene Michael built those teams.
Drill said, TJ, am I stupid or really find a Kadarius Toney thing actually admit to faking his injuries? I just saw something on Twitter about it. God almighty. Ugh. He needs to stay off of social media. His guys don't do it.
Would it surprise me if he was faking his injury? Absolutely not.
And would it surprise me if that's why he was put in the doghouse? Absolutely not. They know that shit. Gungun says, fellas, my eyelids are growing heavy. I'm sleepy. I don't know how much longer I could stay awake. Drew L says, you can do it, Gungun. We're almost done. We got a fan fight. Push through. Drew L says, rest in peace to everybody's ears with TJ's volume debacle. Sorry, what can I say? Yeah, I mean, and on top of that, Grumpy, Aaron Judge came out and said that he was not happy with the Yankees fan base. It's because he got booed during the postseason. And it looks like he's going to San Francisco. See you later.
San Francisco, the Giants feel very confident in signing Aaron Boone this season. I let him go.
Aaron Judge, right?
Yep, Aaron Judge. Let him go. He's not going to be worth the contract he's going to get. Absolutely not.
Let him go. Let him go. Right, Grumpy?
Let him go.
Oh, man. Let him go.
How much money do you think he's going to get coming off of this career season that he had?
Huge money. Huge money, man.
10 years. At least 10 years, right? You're going to be paying until he's 39 years old? I don't see that happening.
Frank says, Top Shelf Hockey reported the Islanders' possible landing spot with Jacob Chikrin not happening.
Why?
What the freak is this infatuation with this chump? We have to call the Islanders and freak the fuck out on them. I can't take it anymore. Yeah, trust me. Phil's fax was telling me today how he thinks we're going to go make a move now with us waving bellows. We're going to make a move.
What move? He made $1.2 million a year. That's what he made. What move are they going to make for that?
It's a freaking joke. It's honestly, could you imagine just giving?
They could have made moves in the offseason. They could have got Johnny Gaudreau. That's what they could have done. They chose not to. Now, 7 games in, you want to make moves now? Please stop.
Got a comment here from Jewel saying the Buccaneers defense just doesn't look the same without Shaq Barrett. My God.
Shaq Barrett got hurt today, knocked out. Mark Andrews also did not return. Rashad Bateman got knocked out, didn't return. Does it seem like a lot of players are getting knocked out of games and just not coming back this year? I blame Tua Tagovailoa for this.
Mark Andrews hurt his knee.
I'm just saying
that's an injury due to
Tua. All I'm saying is now the be all end all is player safety. Stop paying the players the money they get paid then.
Hold on. Players always leave games with injuries. Players always leave games with injuries. My God.
Yeah, they always seem to make it back. Just seems like it's a lot more.
Oh, they always seem to make it back. I can't with you. Okay, Grumpy, you're reading these next few comments. Come on.
I'm not chirping because we were on the second half of a back-to-back with Halak in net. We'll get you next time, but the Rangers need a forward and a defenseman.
Yep.
TJ, about the hypercritical, you know why that is the case. It's because the Islanders have been losers, reiterating what Grumpy said. And the thing is, most people listen to mainstream media. Exactly. Joseph C. also says we had 41 shots. Hats off to Sorokin. He played amazing, but I don't expect a similar result the next time. Probably not.
Yep.
Joel says they just believe anything the major networks say, that they have control over the narrative in sports. That's why the Knicks are being 3-1 and still being laughed at. True. Frank from Empire State Construction says, well, Joe, when Bellows is scoring on both of our teams, we'll hate together.
Yeah.
Joseph C. says, looking forward to the remaining games between us, but I hope we're both in a playoff spot when it happens. Well, that's not going to happen for the Islanders. I guarantee you that.
Joel says, Lou, personally, would make me want to apply for the Islanders general manager. I bet I do a better job than him at this point. I played way too much NHL franchise mode not to F up the Islanders organization.
I would say don't tell them that. Your knowledge is based on playing NHL franchise mode.
Hey, Garth Snow got a job from fantasy hockey, so you never know. Drew L says Tua's back injury ruined the NFL. That's right. Yes, Frank says, Grumpy Man, TJ, how the F are the Rangers and Islanders only playing 3 games?
Because
WTF. Go ahead.
Because they have so many teams in the league and everyone has to play every team twice. I could care less about playing the Western Conference teams. I could care less. You want to know who's the best team in a conference, the best team in division, they need to play each other more. That's what I loved about the COVID seasons. You knew exactly where you stood in your division and your conference.
So this one, Grumpy, we have got a fan fight to cap off today's show. And as always, they are a criminal offender. Oof, I don't need to hear that. They are a criminal offender of wanting to be able to record what's happening at the rafters of this facility and also what's going to be happening on the ice at the same time. So, man, I'll tell you, they're up in the bleeds at Rogers Arena. I believe this is Rogers Place fight.
It's a steep decline there. If you take a tumble down those steps.
We might happen to see that, Grumpy.
Oh,
we might happen to see a little bit.
I'm just looking. It looks like it's a mighty steep drop.
It does look like it's a mighty steep drop. So when alcohol is involved, I'm sure there's going to be a struggle. There's going to be a struggle, Grumpy old man. But yes, I'll let you watch it. It is something else. So he's like, get the hell down. You're in my way.
Flip the drink.
This guy is not watching the
word.
game. He flipped the drink on him. I said, dude, get down. Get down. He's still standing up. Sit down.
Now some lady, I think, said, get out of the way. Uh-oh. Took his hat and threw his hat.
Took his hat.
Oh, wow. Jeez. Oh, shit.
No! He just starts pummeling him. And this guy's giving like little baby punches.
Yeah, his dude, buddy, if you're gonna help your buddy, stick him in the face.
His buddy's doing this. Dun, 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 dun. As his friend is getting absolutely annihilated. Sorry, I want to go back. As his friend is getting annihilated. Oh, Jesus H. He was not ready for that. Look at this. He picks him up. He hits him. He pulls at the hockey, grabs him by the jersey, yomp, and yanks him down. Boom. And starts pummeling him. His friends barely throw him.
Choke him. Get him from behind and put him in a freaking
headlock. I was going to say, put him in a headlock. What the hell are you doing? He's barely punching him.
Now everyone else has to jump in and help this guy out because his friend Peter Pussicle.
This guy starts pulling the next guy. This guy's a maniac, but the fans are just like, my God, they can't fight.
Look at this guy. What is he from? The girls' school of fighting?
Jesus H.
What a bitch.
But I'll tell you one thing. We always usually say the guy with the high ground wins. But when it's this steep like this and you're not too drunk, you can use that steep. You can use that steep. You can use that steep incline and decline to your advantage.
Here's the thing. If that guy was on landscape, we'd be able to see Miss Hottie in the row right over there on the side.
I know you couldn't stop fascinating over it.
There she is. That's the only thing I noticed right now.
Cool.
Everybody else is in some type of mud bustle there.
What?
I don't know. They were all kind of clumped up together.
I was looking for any sort of comment on it, what happened, but unfortunately nothing, Grumpy. So there was a little fan fight to wrap things up today. But Grumpy, what do you want to say before we wrap things up, my friend?
I just want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens, and even those who don't, from TJ and the Grumpy Old Man.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to the show or tuning in. We'll be live, not this Sunday, but next Thursday on the show. So make sure you subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, and follow on Twitter. Until then, have a great Friday. The weekend's almost upon us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you around real soon. Thank you again, as always, Grumpy Old Man.
My pleasure.